and a half years. We shall now go on to our next speaker, our very eminent Dr. T.P. Lahane. Dr. Lahane, you were not there when I introduced you.
No,
So,
as you know, the BOA conference is going on, so I was not there. But thank you, Chitra, for inviting me. And now I will go ahead with the SICS in the difficult situation. Now, see, this is the complicated cataract that is because of the trauma. And here I'm doing the Rexis, this apna tunnel. And you will see whenever I'm going in and separating the iris, see here. And the iris is separated, but the capsule is other to the iris. So I am just removing that area where the capsule I have removed now. Here you can see. And this flap, this total flap, I have taken it back. So I think whenever we are going such type of cataract, first we must plan it. And I think if you do it, then it automatically the nucleus and everything comes out. Only thing what happens if the capsule remains there only we try from other side, then the it is very difficult to do the even the can opener also, and then the sometimes you get the PC tear. So here you can say the Rexis is extended on the other side, but there is a partial Rexis, and I could put an IOL in that. Now this is the second case. You can see just I'm extending the by the can say pupil, and after that I'm doing the Rexis here. So the Rexis is done. The behind the iris also. So once you got the flap, and then when I'm cutting, I go with the corneal tunnel. That is very this one, and I always use the AC maintainer, and I do with the Blumenthal technique with the glide. So this glide always helps me to protect and prevent iris coming out. So the iris is behind this. Normally iris comes out because of the lens bring the edge of the lens bring the iris forward. So we'll have to take care of that. Now this is, you can see the other lens here, the again the pupil and rigid pupil, it is there, and pseudo exfoliation also there. So I am operating in the pseudo, you can see in the pseudo exfoliation and the lens. The Rexis in such situation is very difficult. So the total this as the granules are weak, the total capsules are the comes. So you'll have to go slow. Now here also I am extending this, and then the because just the here everywhere my glide and the AC maintainer that saves me, and then I removed it. Now this is the last case that I am showing, is the aniridia, and this was a both eye aniridia patient. So young child, and here now you can see there is no iris. The lens is swollen in the anterior chamber, so there is no space, much space here. So now here you can see this. I am trying, but all the fluid is coming. So this fluid, I will aspirate this fluid, and then later on the I am doing the Rexis here, and the completion of the Rexis is very important, because it is an aniridia patient. You will have to implant the lens in the bag only. So see here, the lens is brought out, and then I'm removing the lens. Lens is removed, and there is a Rexis, and you can say aniridia lens is implanted inside in the patient, and I think the patient we are following up, and patient is good. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, Dr. Lahane, for your very interesting videos. I have a very basic doubt to ask. Would you relapse one pole of your nucleus and then introduce the sheath glide, or would you put the sheath glide following a hydro itself or would you do it after prolapsing the nucleus totally into the anterior chamber?
Yes, very basic question. See, cis glide is the glide that can tear the posterior capsule. And so whenever you are going with the cis glide, anterior, the nucleus should be in the anterior chamber one edge. It is not required that total nucleus in the anterior chamber. Edge of the nucleus should be up near about 1/3 of the nucleus. Secondly, whenever our glide is going, this glide should not go beyond the iris. Whatever the iris is there, it should not go beyond the iris. And if iris is pupil is more dilated, then it should be made totally horizontal. So it should not be a vertical. If it is made vertical, then it is very difficult and that will go and tear the PC. So till the iris, and when the edge is in the anterior chamber, after that you will have to insert the glide.
Oh,
Chitra, can I ask a question?
yes,
Yes, Namrata.
Sir, I have a question, and all the SICS surgeons here are as good or excellent phaco surgeons also. So I want to ask you that when you are doing a case, how do you decide, or when do you decide that you would do SICS or phaco? Are you not tempted to do phaco in some of the cases, or are you more tempted to do SICS because we've not learned the SICS the way you all have learned? So I just wanted to know what is the guiding principle, which guides you on this.
Namrata, very good question. See, for me, when nucleus is very hard and black nucleus, in such situation, myself, I decide to go for the SICS. But what other cases you have seen in the traumatic case or the this pseudo explanation, normally I do go with the SICS because here the phaco is not possible in some cases. But the guys who are working in the government medical college, we go on the foldable lens, and the foldable lens is not free in Maharashtra. So they will have to purchase the foldable lens. And those who are not purchasing the foldable lens, so we'll have to do the SICS in the situation. But indications, yes, when the zonules are really can say lax and not intact properly, subluxation is there. Here we can see the pseudo exfoliation, we should not go for phaco. And very hard cataract, that is a where the we can see black cataract is there, the energy required is more. In this situation, we operate with phaco, but from second day, we see the cornea is totally hazy, and then we'll have to tell the patient that there is a ear in your this eye, that will take some 10 days like that. So it is better to avoid in the situation. In other situation, normally you go with phaco.
Dr. Debashish, I wanted a question from you. In that case of aniridia, I always believe that there could be a zonular weakness in some of these eyes. Would you not like to place a CTR beforehand?
Not really. In a case of when you are doing SICS, Chitra, because see, you have the option of placing the lens in the sulcus, and especially when you're putting a multi-piece lens. So not really, but in phaco, because of the bag stabilization, because it is an endocapsular procedure, I mean, when you are we are emulsifying the nucleus, so you need the bag to be stable. So be it capsular hooks, be it CTR, we need to fixate the bag when we are doing the procedure, and that carries on into the lens introduction area also. And to answer Namrata's question, I would say it totally depends on the ability of the person to pay. Foldable lenses are expensive. And obviously, I mean, the choice is that if you don't have the patients to pay for a foldable lens, in our hospital context, those are the patients we do SICs. Hardness of the cataract, yes, absolute black cataracts with shallow ACs, with a smaller pupil. If I'm not comfortable that this patient will probably require 30, 40 CDE types, it is better because you don't want slight keratopathy the next day. So these are the two areas I would consider our indications in our settings where we do SICs.
In this case, I want to tell about this aniridia.
Yes.
We operated one eye with the can see this SICS, but Chitra, in SICS it is not required because we are not doing FICO. But yes, if you are doing FICO, as sir very rightly said, it requires definitely the support, that is CTR is required. But in SICS it is not required, and as you know, I have put the rigid lens. So this rigid lens in this will act as a this one CTR. That was a rigid lens.
Any other question? I think Dr. Borahani had a question. Yes, doctor?
No, I have don't have a question. I have a comment. Lahane sir has shown excellent videos.
Yes.
There is one more advantage of sheets glide, because sheets glide is quite broad one. It prevents the iris prolapse, or in case there is iris prolapse, you can use the sheets glide, push the iris and take out the lens. That is the one more advantage of sheets glide.
Dr. Saurabh, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think I am Namrata, I am student. So I think her question, what I do in private practice, because most of my patients are paying patients. So paying for a foldable lens is not an issue. So how I decide to go ahead with SICS is there are three things. One is the grade of cataract, the zonules, and the corneal problems. So if two of them are defective, I go ahead with SICS. But if just one of the three is affected, I can still go ahead with safe FICO. Otherwise, I just go ahead with FICO. So two of the three affected, I decide to go ahead with SICS.
I think Dr. Chitra, I would like to comment on this. Let's not talk about the economical part of it. If we think about science, let's put it that way. If we have astigmatism somewhere around 2-3 diopters and the patient cannot, we cannot get a toric for the patient.
Yeah.
Then again, we would go for SICS. If we have conditions where there are scleral involvement, let's put it, there is scleritis or something like that,
Yes.
we would go for a clear column incision and phaco in all those cases. And, if you have patients with lens coloboma, we have done a study also that subluxated cataracts and actually lens coloboma, phaco does better than an SICS. So, and besides, of course, the black cataracts and all those kind of things. The second thing that you were talking about, aniridia. Let's first focus on the fact that in aniridia, there is going to be a generalized subluxation, if at all. So
Yeah.
CTR has absolutely no role. Okay, so if you really want to go back and fix the bag, maybe you can, if you have a generalized subluxation, you can go for a fixing device, something like a CTS with CTR. You may need to fix it at a couple of places, or you can go for a CONI. So whether it is phaco or SICS, that doesn't make any difference. It depends on the kind of subluxation that you have. Yeah.
Fine.
Thank you.